29 atau 4% daripada 672 batang sungai di Malaysia dikenal pasti tercemar tahun lalu, berpunca daripada aktiviti pembuangan sisa kimia, ladang ternakan haiwan dan pelombongan.
Menteri Sumber Asli, Alam Sekitar dan Perubahan Iklim Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad berkata, bagi menangani isu pencemaran sungai-sungai ini, Kementerian melalui JAS telah mengambil pelbagai langkah termasuk di peringkat penguatkuasaan, perancangan dan kajian.
Hello everyone, we are from AS114283. Our group will presenting about the water pollution caused by fertilizer that is happened at Belatop River under the gravimetric analysis.
Before we start, let me introduce my amazing group members. First, we have NURUL HASANAH binti MOHAMAD FAZIL. Next, we have SAFI IRMILLIA binti ZUHARI, HAFLIN ARYANIE binti MOHAMAD ZANURI, MOHAMAD TAUFIK bin KAMARUDIN, and MOHAMAD HAZIQ bin AMIR HAMZAH.
So what does it mean by gravimetric analysis? Gravimetric analysis is a quantitative method based on determining the mass of pure solid, also known as precipitate, using the right step and procedures. The principle of gravimetric analysis is that the mass of an ion in a pure compound or analyte is equal to the quantity of that ion in the original sample. There are two types of gravimetric analysis that have been learned, which are precipitation and volatilization. For precipitation, the analyte must first be converted into a spirally soluble or precipitate. The precipitate will then be filtered, washed and dried so it can be weighed later. For volatilization, the analyte or its decomposition product will be volatilized using the right temperature to dry. The dry product can then be weighed later. There are advantages and disadvantages to using gravimetric analysis. For advantages, there is no calibration needed. The equipment are also inexpensive and it also have high degree of precision and accuracy. For disadvantages, a long experimental time needed to finish, and if there are error in analysis, it can change the end result.
The technique that will be used for this incident is the precipitation technique. This technique is chosen because the percentage of the chemical contained in the fertilizer that was released into the river can be determined.
Next, we are going to present the methodology for this case. In general methodology in precipitation gravimetry, it is preparation of the sample, precipitation, digestion, filtering and washing off, drying, wafting and calculation. This is the procedure of the sampling liquid. First step, we need to analyze sampling spots along the river that are representative of the pollution extent and sources. Secondly, make sure all the sampling items are clean, sterilized and properly calibrated. After that, secure the bottle with the sample apparatus. Thirdly, use a sampling pole or rope to collect water samples from the predetermined spots. Then, collect water samples at different depths to assess the vertical stratification of pollutants within the river. Label each sample container with essential information including date, time, location and any relevant observation about the sampling site directly after collection. Lastly, we need to store the sample in cooling box with ice to keep the samples cool and move them to the laboratory immediately.
Preparing a laboratory sample. First, we need to filter the sample collected from the polluted river to separate the analyte and water. The precipitate gained from the filtration will be dried to remove excess water. Then, the dried precipitate will be weighed again to get the mass of the precipitate. After that, calculate the percentage of chemicals that were gained from the river. The purpose of drying is to ensure the exact weight is obtained during quantitative chemical analysis. It's done with samples dried in the oven at 150 Celsius to 110 Celsius for 24 hours.
The quantitative analysis for this experiment is the chemical that is found in this experiment. For this experiment, the chemicals that are found might be phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium because these are the main chemicals that widely used in the fertilizer. In this Belatop river pollution, the specific types of fertilizer is not mentioned. That cause the chemical count cannot be declared precisely. For the example of result, we can see in this video, the gravimetric analysis method was used to filter the precipitate from the water. Instead of dissolving the fertilizer into the water, we will use the polluted river water instead as the liquid sample.
Gravimetric analysis is a suitable way to check the amount of unwanted waste or chemicals present in the river. This is due to its high accuracy and precision in quantifying substance based on their mass. Gravimetric analysis is a technique employed in separating and precipitating impurities from the river water, thus measuring pollution levels directly without any interference with other components. It is majorly used to identify small quantities of pollutant as well as enables accurate assessment of environmental health and evaluate efficiency of pollution control strategies.